Hello everybody, Pastor Rick with you, Broadman Baptist Church. This is the Broadman Word for the 24th of May, 2021. Today's Broadman Word's coming from the devotional Radical Wisdom. And we're talking about twos or threes. That's the idea today. We have to make decisions daily, and surrendering to God is not always an easy thing. In fact, we think of surrendering as usually when we're out of options, when there's nothing else to do. That's why it tends to be hard for us, particularly in today's age, because we have so many options of what to do. You could, faced with the situation, decide just to tough it out, maybe work a little harder, or, one of my personal favorites, let's wait and see what happens, that kind of approach. Well, when we're faced with these day in and day out decisions, and sometimes even bigger ones, hopefully they don't come in groups. Usually it's only one at a time, but most church folks will at least consider when they're making decisions, what is the will of God here? What's the right thing to do? Or the classic, what would Jesus have me do? And the answer isn't normally all that complicated. We typically know what the right thing to do is and what God would want us to do. But that's the easy part. Usually, the hard work comes after we figure out what it is we're supposed to do. Because that question, what would Jesus have us do, isn't always what we want to do. And in fact, what Jesus would have us do usually involves some sort of a cost, some sort of a risk, or some sort of uncomfortableness, some growth that we would have to undergo. So the answer to the question is not difficult, but the action on the answer can be quite taxing for us. Jesus, however, did tell us that he had come that they may have life and life to the full. That's from John 10:10. So having life means eternal life. That life to the full part is where most of us miss. We miss the mark there. Because life to the full, in order to be all of what God intended us to be, to in fact fulfill so that we could have a life in the full, is obtained by being very collaborative with God. You have a life to the full by facing things, even everyday things, and involving him in every decision you make. The title of today's Broadman Word, Twos or Threes, is meant to illustrate the following. When you've got a situation, is it faced in twos or is it faced in threes? And here's what we mean. Is it just you in the situation or you in the decision, two? Or is it faced with threes, you, the decision, and God? Hopefully we face everything with threes. The more things on your side, meaning God, the better. But I think probably often we fight things one-on-one or in two, only two contestants instead of where we should be with three. So it's not me and the decision about whatever it is. That's not the right way to approach it. It should be me, God, and the decision about whatever it is. And that's the part that requires the surrender, and that's where it gets difficult, and that's where we struggle. If we ask, you're going to get an answer. And when we have decisions to make, we should ask God what his will is. We should seek the will of God. But more importantly, will we do what we want to do, or will we obey, which involves being surrendering? The Christian walk that we also desperately want to walk so truthfully, straight, righteous, successfully, fulfilled, that life in full, remember, from John 10:10? we spend a lot of time thinking about that, probably trying to bring it about, modeling for it, but it requires a very collaborative approach to life, a collaborative approach to God in your life, and not just in big things, but in the smaller everyday things as well. It requires being in a situation of 3 and not a situation of 2. It requires obedience and not self-will, and it requires surrendering and not an attempt to power through on your own. Think about whatever decision it is you face today, and then pray, seek God, and make decisions with Him, and you'll be a much more fulfilled Christian. That life in full will be a thing of reality because you did it with God. Hey, listen, I love you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Sorry for this one being a little late in the afternoon. Normally try to get these done in the morning, but it has been one heck of a day. Full of good things, though, and I hope yours has been too. Take care. We'll see you next time.